Portugal. There's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show.
Olá Bom Dia ALEGRIA, Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal show, live stream and podcast. How are you today? Well, I see a few people are already ready to enjoy the Good Morning Portugal show this morning. Who are you? Please say hi. If you've not done so before, it'd be lovely to hear from you and find out who's watching this morning. We can see that Coach Turner was tuned in a little bit earlier on, might be on the move now to Coimbra. Bom dia a todos, she says, e feliz terça. We're saying goodbye to San Martino today, which is sad, but hello to Coimbra. I think it's fair to say you and Leslie have had a lovely time here in San Martino de Porto. It was lovely to have a coffee with you yesterday morning, but don't worry, SMDP will be back later in the year now, I believe. Oh, hold on a minute. The on-air light is not on. This is not official. Okay, ow, that hurt. Right. Yes, it's official. We are now on air with the light on. Bon dia. Thank you, Mel, as well. That was you commenting yesterday, was it not, Mel, on the program, the live stream last night, where the mastermind group of Expats Portugal met to talk about the Expat Angels idea. Thank you. I didn't have a chance to fully digest that. I saw that very late last night. But feel free to reiterate in the comments here if you care to do so. And lovely to meet you. The weekend as well. Yes, it was excellent stuff. Okay, so let's crack on, shall we, with the Bom Dia Daily. And before we do, we are we're still enjoying the lovely feelings that were evoked, created, and shared last Saturday evening. Here's a little bit more dancing. I was hoping a few videos would come through, and they did, of us having a great time on Saturday night. Another YouTube strike then, with a little bit of copyright music, but I think it's worth it. And talking of music, we've got another tune new on Bandcamp. Ron Rogers has released a new tune, which we'll go out with this morning. And we've got language, we've got culture, we've got well-being this morning, and of course that all-important 4.7 on the Richter scale earthquake that rocked Lisbon yesterday. Did you get any messages? Are you okay? Did you feel that? Were you sending such messages? Let's have a little bit of dancing, though, and a great memory of Saturday night first. Love is in the air. Oh, what a tune. John Paul Young there. And all of life was there, as well as love being in the air. All of life was there. People from all generations. And did you see in the corner the man who was watching the football whilst everybody was dancing? I don't know how he did that, but I'm so glad he did. It was such a wonderful picture of acceptance and integration. Portuguese old fella watching the football and us dancing. Boom, dear, from Jackie. Yeah, it was a superb evening. And it looks like we will be repeating it. Well, not repeating it exactly, but we'll be creating the same conditions in which to dance, and drink and revel on the 22nd of March, if you can join us for that. In the same venue, Casa de Lem, hosted and in the company of Rodrigo there, which is the bar of the Albergaria de San Pedro here in San Martino de Porto. So looking forward already to the 22nd of March and our next party here. And I've been talking to people who want to sing, who want to do the karaoke, and of course there'll be plenty of time for dancing as well, as was requested. Fantastic. Okay. And did you see on my DJ deck there, well, table really, a glass of beer and a pot of Marmite, and you may have just seen as well a jar of marmalade. It is customary to bring the DJ not only drinks, but Marmite and marmalade, it would appear. I may regret saying that, but no, I do love Marmite, as you can see from the shrine here. The Marmite has an honorary place next to the Caldas Real Ale Cup and Battaglia Fridge Magnet and the Barcelos Cockerel, and a few other things that you may or may not recognize. A bottle of Berau, see that? And some That's some olive oil, isn't it? Top right-hand corner. More to say about oils and the lack of seed oils or less seed oils here in Europe in a little while. 4.7, the Goldilocks zone of the Richter scale, just enough to feel, not enough to do damage. That's a nice way of addressing that. Which did shock and awe some people yesterday. Good morning, everyone from Gemini as well. Thank you, Gemini, for all your comments. Really appreciate those on our YouTube channel as well. So, yeah, let's take a look at that then on this, the Bon Dia Daily, before we welcome Jason and Lee onto the screen later on in the show. Growing concerns. They're the growers. Showers, I don't know. Yes, showing his produce at local markets, of course, Jason is doing, and we'll find out. We'll be reminded of his schedule of markets where the wonderful Quinta Esencial produce can be found, purchased, and then taken home and cooked with and eaten. Another great reason to be here in Portugal, in Europe, where fresh food still is fresh and could be described as food, basically. Okay, let's go to the Portugal resident this morning for the coverage of the 4.7 Goldilocks earthquake, as John is referring to it. Thank you, John, for your company last night on the mastermind session. That's the third Monday of every month. And thank you to Nuno as well. I'll bring this reporting onto the screen so you can see it from the Portugal resident, Michael Brujo here. 4.7 earthquake rocks Lisbon. The whole building was shaking, a Portuguese influencer said in a video just minutes after the earthquake. An earthquake measuring 4.7 on the Richter scale rocked the Portuguese capital of Lisbon and nearby areas this Monday afternoon. Who was Richter? With an epicenter around 14 kilometers southwest of Sejal. Oh, I didn't hear from Bobby as well. I must check in with him and see how he's doing and if he felt it. And if you're a builder, can you imagine? He's building Herdad de Mayo, of course, and the new project will be happening in Sejal, Vista Bay. It must be very nerve-wracking when you're a building owner, developer, and then they start moving like that. So this was on the south bank of the Tagus Teja River. The earthquake was recorded at 124. Trying to put it on the Richter scale again. So that's the thing, isn't it? When it's in the day like that, many more people feel it, and it was felt, said the Portuguese Sea and Atmosphere Institute, IPMA, particularly in the Lisbon metropolitan area. The institute added that a new communique with up-to-date information and macro-seismic data should be issued soon. Where's my macro-seismic data? Here it is from IPMA. Initially, the Euro-Mediterranean Seismological Centre, anyone in the earthquake business, I suppose, becomes very excited on such days, indicated that the quake had a magnitude of 5 on the Richter scale. In a warning message to the public sent at 1:55 p.m., the National Emergency and Civil Protection Authority, the ANEPC, these are websites worth bookmarking, aren't they? The ANEPC and IPMA. They announced that the National Meteorological Institute confirmed an earthquake at 1:24 with an epicenter in the sea near Fonte de Telha, on the one of my favorite beaches in Portugal, on the Setúbal Peninsula, with an estimated magnitude of 4.7 on the Richter scale. No damage has been reported so far. Stay calm. And it's all right for you to say, isn't it, on a memo or a fax? Stay calm, it's fine. The whole building's shaky, but don't worry. And keep an eye out for possible aftershocks. If justified, we will issue new information, said ANEPC. Many people have taken to social media to share what they thought when they felt the earthquake. Portuguese influencer, not influenza, which I believe we were going to be doing, of course, the Munson and the Geezer show at 7 last night. Tony's not very well. If you've got Tony on WhatsApp, send him a message and send him some love and a virtual hug. Don't get anywhere near him, of course, because he's definitely got a bad lurgy, that boy. Man up, come on, get on, sort yourself out, Tony Portuguese. Yes, that reminds me, we'll be talking about toxic masculinity when we next speak, and that'll be next Monday now. So get well soon, mate. Ash melhoras to you, the Portuguese. Take it easy. Hope you're feeling better this morning. Portuguese actress. Oh no, that's someone else. Ana Garcia Martins, the influencer, also known as Pipoca Mais Doce, the sweeter. What's that? The sweeter popcorn. Reported a mega earthquake. See, if you're an influencer, you probably can't say, yeah, it's just a little shake, nothing, no big deal. If you're an influencer, it's going to be like, mega earthquake, things were falling over, things fell here, the whole building was shaking, my heart is racing, she shared in a video posted just a few minutes after the earthquake. Portuguese actress Sofia Arruda described a very strange experience feeling the earthquake in her home. The worst part is that I did not have a reaction. I remained seated as I had lunch. The water in the coffee machine seemed like it was possessed. The actress said in an Instagram story, I couldn't move. I was glued to the ground. I didn't go outside, nothing. I remained seated, she added. She's, poor lass is in shock. Bruno Lager, that's a great name, isn't it, for a football guy? Lager, head coach of Benfica, was also asked about his reaction to the earthquake at a pre-game press conference ahead of the club's Tuesday Champions League match against Monaco. Ooh, big night then tonight. Benfica playing Monaco. I bet that old geezer will be down at the club again, watching that football match. Oh, they open on a Tuesday. They're open tomorrow. The men's shed meet there tomorrow night. Anyway, Bruno said, I was walking down the stairs and a glass door started shaking. So I told Lemos, the press officer, that we have to fix the door. Only when I arrived here did I realize what happened, Lager told reporters. And Lisbon Mayor Carlos Moedas is scheduled to address the media at 4 p.m., providing an official assessment of the situation. Yes, I mean, he must live with that in the back of his mind all the time. His press conference was initially planned for 4:30 p.m., but was moved forward, not by the earthquake. By the people who plan his diary. There you go. Thank you, Michael Brujo, in the Portugal resident. Big question is, did you feel the earthquake yesterday? Earthquake, just another day in California. Pa! Pa! All right, fair enough. You seasoned earthquakians, or whatever you call yourself. Lovely to see you, Aviva. I must say again, thank you for making the journey to San Martino de Porto at the weekend. See you next year or next time. Bon dia, and that idea is great. I think the key word, after talking to James yesterday, the key word I think that we would like to weave into such a gathering online, where we're talking about some of the more challenging aspects of moving to Portugal, must include the word kindness. It's a kind space, isn't it? A kind space that we're going to be creating. Bon dia, Cullen Gumpers from a damp Belfast from Deagle. Good morning, mate. Starting to get warm. Last cold day, 4 degrees. Will be 9 degrees tomorrow and 11 by the weekend. Almost t-shirts and shorts weather, and days getting longer. Daily, fantastic. I was on the phone to my son in Lisboa about that time. He did not comment to feeling it at all. Okay, so not everybody felt that then. Maybe it was only the influencers and the actresses who needed something to talk about on social media. Bon dia, Malta. Am I being cynical? Andairo. He was Bairandi. He's like Prince. He's changed his name to the enigmatic sounding Andairo. You sound like a boy band singer, actually, Andairo. Good morning to you. Bon dia, Malta, from a milder Vairo this morning. And did you know Marmite has a very long shelf life? Yes, I think some was found in the Egyptian tombs, wasn't it, of Tutankhamun? 18 months, and it was still good. 18 months till the vitamin content becomes degraded, but still edible. Oh, anyone see Costa on the news yesterday? Big summit in France with European leaders. Well, he's the president. I wrote about him last night, actually. My column this week, in who doesn't like a column first thing in the morning, Portugal resident, and that will be Trump triggering and transformation. I do like an alliteration, and that's what you've got this week. If the editor will print it, indeed, if she likes it. Or deems it appropriate to do so. So that's what I've submitted anyway. Trump triggering and transformation, the gift that Trump might be giving us. Now that's a bit bitter and hard pill for some to swallow, I think, at the moment. But I mean it earnestly, and I hope she does print it. And I'd look forward to hearing what you think about that. Anyone see Kosh on the news yesterday? No, didn't see him. But yes, he is the president of the European Council. He was embroiled in a corruption allegation, wasn't he, and difficulty. That's why he stepped down, because it became untenable, or he didn't want that bad smell hanging in the air. Time to move on. Where do you move on to when you've been involved in a bit of a corruption ding-dong? Well, you become the president of the European Council, which he's doing now. And I didn't realize, but doing a little bit of research about the Portuguese governmental response to Donald Trump. He has a reputation, apparently, for being very optimistic, and annoyingly so, according to the president, Marcelo. Antonio Costa being very optimistic. I suppose you've got to be, haven't you, when you're in politics? It could probably really get a man down, being involved in all the toing and froing of politics. Right, there you go. That's the earthquake coverage there. Music to come from Ron Rogers to close the show today. We've got Jason, of course, at Quintessential, and Lee in just a moment. Now, not been doing so much on language and culture and well-being. We'll do our best to put that right now. And I'm going to play you something that Philomena sent me, which is a poem, a Portuguese poem. It's a modern one. It's not Camões or Pessoa. It is a young lad who is putting some beautiful Portuguese words together. And I want to use this as a test. I'll play it after I've shown you a really nice well-being meme that you might appreciate. You might not. But I think it will prove to you that if you think, oh, this language is so difficult, when am I ever going to learn it? This is one of those moments where I think you'll realize you learn more than you know. And if you don't, I'm really sorry, because that's going to be really depressing if after saying all of that, you still think it's very difficult. But I think you can congratulate yourself after this video of nearly 3 minutes. It's a great Portuguese poem. See how much of it you can understand. So get yourself in a position to do that, if you will. And before we do that, I saw this, which I thought was great, although it doesn't appear to be on my screen now. Let me see if I can find this rather good meme of somebody talking about how they loved Europe. Oh, here we go. And the basically the better sort of health perspective that we have here in Europe. This is from somebody called Carnivore Aurelius. I'm thinking a stoic paleo fan. Huge fan of all the strange European quirks. I think that's a bit rude. It's just how we live. And there's a classic picture of a beer-bellied Frenchman, possibly. That looks like a French TV combo, doesn't it? Young, attractive woman and a grey-haired old geezer there with the pot belly. That's the classic presentation combo on French TV, isn't it? Pretty young woman and old guy, grey-haired guy. Refusing. So these are European quirks. Refusing to use air conditioning. I refuse. You can take your air conditioning. I will not be using that. Room temperature water. That's such a quirky thing, isn't it? Unrefrigerated eggs. Again, quirky? Us? It's you that's quirky, sticking them in the fridge. Walking everywhere. Well, blow me down. Why would you do that? Extremely long lunches for no reason. That's an assumption. There is a great reason, and that's because it's blooming fantastic to do. What better reason do you need? Kissing on the cheek. Another one of your European quirks. So far, I'm scoring a full marks on this. Refusing to use AC. Yes, unless it gets really unbearable. Room temperature water. Well, yeah. Unrefrigerated eggs. Yes. And we don't wash them either. We don't wash the shells. Walking everywhere as much as possible. Extremely long lunches for no reason. Oh, yes. Kissing on the cheek. Oh, yes. Taking all of August off work. Chance to be a fine thing, but yes, I thoroughly approve. And not cooking with seed oils. I don't think we think, it's not Portuguese or European people think seed oils or not seed oils today. And I put a question to you. Do you think olive oil is a seed oil or not? What did I miss? So let's help Carnivore Aurelius then. And we've got Lee waiting to join us in a couple of minutes. But before we go there, I want to share a Portuguese poem with you. And Lee will translate this for us. He'll give us a full Mancunian English version of the... Oh, no, I'm getting a gesture from him. I don't know what that means. Oh, yes, I do. Okay. Come back, Lee. All right. Some Portuguese poetry for you. How much of this can you understand, Lee?
A pronúncia algarvia é castiça e é vadia. E muita gente não sabe quantas versões tem ainda. Só Algarve onde cabe tanta pronúncia tão linda. Os ouvidos amadores, querendo-se conhecedores, confundem com a alentejana. Não está certo nem errado, mas para dizer a verdade, só de pronúncia serrana temos muita variedade. Fabricou-se tanta prosa da Foia à Ria Formosa, de Sagres ao Guadiana, do Arado à Mãe Soberana, da Babuja até às Brenhas, e até as velhas cacanhas cacanham de outra maneira, sejam do Alferce ou de Quarteira. Tantos anos pestes lados, esquecidos e isolados, nas aldeias, povoações da capital e das regiões, porém sempre convocados a mandar os bons tostões, cujos falares congelados ficaram até aos bem falados falares das televisões. Não sou vou falar de lagos no empar da fonte Chirões. O que se faz fica feito, o queijo é feito colete, e se a praça cheira a peixe é que ainda apanhaste algum. tanto podre, cheira a pechum. A gente aqui diz plantar em vez de pôr ou designar. Tramar é xaringar, mas também é trampicar, que dizeres para a pequentada tem o povo uma porrada. As ervilhas são grisés e corta-se as ganfas dos pés para a sapatilha caber. A comida é o comer, amendoins são alcagoitas, as crostas do pão são coidas e os pésseques maraquetons. A tigela é uma pelengana, um parvalhão é um basbana e chamamos de cabrões tanto os ruins como os irmãos. Um forrete é um fónica, no sotavante é figos de pita, figos da Índia diz-se aqui. Ora na D, ora na di, se não está quente então está frio, ditongos, não levam aí. Com os beços a gente beija, que michão é bertueja, e se é lítica alarada estás de raleira marcada. Tudo o que pica é queimoso, tudo o que pinta é tisnoso, se está bem leva precete, seja a mais é maquejete. Tinaissa, faça caso, ou seja, Inácia, ouça, o chaile é o chalho, o baile é o baile e a festa é a retoiça. Uma pergunta é uma pré-cura, uma sede é uma secura, um susto é um cagaice e para dizer a benzedura vai chamar o padre nice. Uma queda é um porro, uma descida é uma ladeira, um gato tímido é um zorro e é já a falei da raleira. Um fósforo é um forfe, uma lanterna é um fox, ir em frente é ir para adiante, de maneira já é portante e uma linha é irritante. O tanque é o tanque, a ansiedade são anças e a gente vai de ambulâncias para Faro ou para Lisboa quando a engiva não está boa. De maneiras que o recado fica assim perpetuado por este moço marafado. Tá bem, moço de um cabreste. A minha pronúncia é agreste. Tem misturas, é rafeira. Portimonense, Monsqueira, Estombarense e Alvoreira. Certamente, do Parchal. Serve assim esta poesia para que os gaiatos um dia, quando todos falarmos normal, lembrem que a pronúncia algravia eram tantas afinal.
There you go, some Algarvian pronunciation. And what a contrast from the Algarve to Manchester in Lisbon here. Good morning to you, Lee. Bom dia.
Good morning.
How are you, mate? Morning.
I'm good, I'm good. I'm just going to, I'm going to find somewhere to park. I'll just drive for another minute to get off just got the 8:33.
You keep your eyes on the road. I've been told off for talking to people while they're driving. I dare say you're on a nice, quiet country road.
I am now, yes. I am now off. I'm now off the road.
He's off road.
A minute from the parking
on purpose. On purpose.
Yes, I have actually pulled off the 33 to talk to you.
Good man.
So, yes.
All right. And I won't get you to show off and boast about your grasp of the Portuguese language. We'll let Philomena translate that next time she's on with us. Whoops. How are you today? And did you feel it yesterday?
Yeah, I'm good today, and I definitely felt it yesterday. It was just off Fontatelia Beach, the earthquake, and I was at Carl's Garden, which is 3 minutes away.
Yeah,
from the beach.
So very close to the
it was. It was really quite exciting.
Was it? What was it
like? The dog enjoyed it.
So the animals were stimulated, were they, and alerted?
It set all the dogs off on the street. Yeah. If you know Portugal dogs, then it's quite exciting when they all start barking.
Proper cacophony. Wow. All right. A whole heap of words I've never seen with that poem there. Thanks, Mel, for that. Go on, Lee. Sorry.
I was removing a tree stump next to the pool or near the pool area. Yeah. So all the hedge started shaking.
Did it?
Obviously the floor shook, and the pool is covered, but the pool cover was waving.
No way.
Like there was a water movement underneath. So yeah, it was quite exciting.
Did you think for a moment, as you were pulling the tree, that you'd started it by pulling the tree out of the ground?
To be honest, at first I thought a big wagon had just gone past, or was going past at the time, and I thought it was the wagon.
Right.
Because I was like a few meters from the road, but the wagon had already gone past me, and it must have lasted 2.5, 3 seconds, which is actually quite a long time for an earthquake.
Yeah, it
was quite good.
When you don't know when it's going to stop, I guess that can feel like a very long time. So there you go. So one of our own community heard and felt it and was quite close to the epicenter there in Fontatelia, of course, not far from where you were there. So what's new? How are you doing? How's your growing going?
It's raining again.
Yeah,
and we had a frost yesterday morning, which is really unusual. It's really quite late. So I was right not to put the. I've got some of my seeds ready, and I've been putting off putting them in because I've still got this cold snap going on.
So what have you got ready? Sorry, I didn't catch that. What's ready?
I've got some of my seeds already,
Oh, okay.
and I was considering last week. I was considering buying some plugs from the garden centre for the veg beds. And like I said, we've still got this bit of a cold snap going on. So I'll leave it another week, and I was right to, because the frost yesterday was quite it's not severe, but enough to need fleeces for stuff.
And would you say, including the gardener himself, no doubt, would you say that's your gardener's intuition then that knew that might happen?
I think it was just laziness last week.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
I genuinely did, because I put on one of the gardening forums, somebody was asking, and I said, depending where you were, I would sort of leave it a couple more weeks. And yeah, so I was right to leave it off.
Gardening forum, you say? This is a Portuguese gardening forum. Now, that might be quite helpful to the new grower. Is it something that inexperienced people can join to get a bit of help from seasoned individuals like yourself?
Well, there's a couple of gardening forums on Facebook that are just Portuguese based. So just type in Portuguese gardening, they'll come up. I can't remember which one I'm in. But yeah, there's always some good advice on it.
All right. Okay.
It all seems to be a bit south orientated, though. It all seems to be a bit Algarve orientated.
Oh, okay.
And obviously, they've got very different weather systems down there.
Yes, of course, as we discover here in Portugal. Now, talking of weather systems, do you now agree with me that it isn't right that it's been raining so much, or are you still holding to the fact that it's quite normal at this time of year?
It's just normal. It's just seasons. It just is what it is. It's just normal.
It is what it is. Okay.
Next year will be completely different. Next year will be red hot, and everyone will be saying, "Oh, this is global warming. It's too hot now."
Mm-hmm. Oh, I've already complained it's too hot this year. Don't worry about that. I'll always be the first to complain when it's got too hot, whatever the time of year is. Yes, good question, Coach Turner. How are Lee's raised beds doing? And who doesn't like a raised bed first thing in the morning? Now, this is what we've seen so far. We had a couple of lovely videos from you. The first one was creating raised beds, and that's obviously outdoor gardening. And then you went into a little bit of an indoor gardening situation. What's new and how's that all going?
Sorry, I've not sent a video. I should have done it last night.
Don't worry, mate. All of us are
I was running late
with our work at the moment. Yeah, there's a lot going on, isn't there? There's a lot going on. So no worries. We'll take what you can give us when you can give it to us.
My tomato seeds are just coming through. The peppers are just showing, so they're sort of a couple of millimeters out of soil. Nothing else has moved yet, seed-wise. The raised beds, 3 are complete now, and 1 of them is still left for soil going in. But I've got a turfing job coming up at the end of the month, so the turf off that will be going into it.
Yeah.
So I've just been filling them up as cheaply as possible by using my commercial waste, which is the best way to do it.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And you probably like a bit of rain when it's turfing, don't you? I can imagine that's a very difficult job to do when the weather has warmed up a bit.
It's a nightmare to do it in the heat.
You go back next morning and there's great big gaps like laminate flooring where the sun has dried out the turf. Yeah,
and it's all set to peel back. But this kind of weather's perfect for it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And obviously, it saves money on the irrigation system doing it this early. You'll get a couple of months where you've got minimum watering.
Yes. Yeah. And is turf quite an easy thing to find here in Portugal? Can you get that from Agrologia, or do you have to go to some sort of specialist place for that?
There's 3 gardener centres in the area where I work that all deliver. It's a little bit expensive. In the UK, God, it's 10 years ago since I last bought it in the UK. But you was always looking at around $3.50 a roll, off $3.50 a square metre. But here it's more like 6.
Is it? Why is that? Is it that special, sort of very tough stuff? The Caribbean grass or whatever it's called?
No, you do that stuff with plugs. You can't get turf with that. You have to do that stuff with plugs or seed.
Right.
That sort of Brazilian creeping grass.
Yes.
But to get any sort of tall fuchsias or any sort of what we know as turf or lawn, I imagine it's because it's imported. I can't imagine as many growers of it in Portugal.
Yes.
And if there is, it's going to be in north, so it's got to be driven a long way.
Yes.
So I imagine it's more the fuel cost than anything else.
Yes, the sod business, so to speak. I remember I lived. Actually, I was a postman back in Devon, and I used to deliver post to a turf cutter, and it's a remarkable business to be in, isn't it? That they've got to grow it and then cut it with the machine and roll it up and before it goes out, and in the way that you're describing.
The turf lifting machines are fantastic. I've been fortunate enough to work on some larger projects. So where we're doing football pitches and rugby pitches, and their rolls come with a machine that lays it, because they must be 3 meter wide rolls and 50 meter long, and the machine comes and just lays it out in one strip. It's fantastic.
And what do you think, Lee, of the craze for plastic grass? I'm guessing you're not a big fan.
I am. I hate it with a passion. I always have.
Right.
I always have. But this year I have recycled some, and I've put some down in Carl's garden where the barbecue area is,
Yes.
At the side of the work shed. Just because nothing grows there. The grass always comes through. It looks lovely this time of year, but come the summer, it's impossible to keep grass under the wisteria.
Yeah.
And it's where we've now started to, or where Carl has now started to hang his washing. And it's where Kalu, my brother-in-law, likes to do the barbecue. So I lifted some fake turf at the start of winter, and I've put it in that little square just because it's easy to keep clean.
I know that part of his garden, I have to say. Sorry if this is a little bit personal and individual, but I do know that piece of the garden because I have stepped up to Kalu's barbecue there, and I want to ask you about him. I did try and get him on the show. You and I are massive fans of his food, obviously, and he is running a catering business, and we were trying to get him on the show, but he's proving to be a little bit shy about that.
I think he's got an issue with the language being broadcasted with his poor English. But he hasn't got poor English. I told him you'd look after him and you'd walk him through it.
Yeah.
But he's a bit reluctant.
Okay. Well, suffice to say then, if anybody wants some fantastic food, barbecue, party food, and I'm sure there's all sorts of other things he can do, but that's what I've tasted and it was delicious. You can get in touch with him via Lee if you're looking for some authentic flavors here on a summer's day. He's absolutely ideal.
I'm going to make you jealous now by telling you I'm going to spend the weekend with them this weekend. We're going up to Amiens, where we had the baby's birthday party.
Yes,
yeah. We're going up to Amiens for the weekend. It's a party weekend up there, some sort of festivals going on. So I will be having more than one barbecue with him this weekend.
Give him a big hug from me and tell him we are trying to help him grow his business. And
I'll tell him.
We'll get him some.
I will convince him, even if it means me coming on with him.
All right. Yeah.
I'll sit with him.
Right.
And we've set the date. We've set the date for the summer barbecue. And I've already told him. I've already told him he's doing it.
All right. This is the summer barbecue is for the Man Cave. Now, the Man Cave is a sort of a cousin, isn't it, of the Good Morning Portugal show, and it's been going like the wine club since the sort of lockdown days, and that's where it all began, and it continues on a Friday night. Now, why not do a little bit of a plug for the Man Cave? It's not everybody's cup of tea, is it? It's not for everybody. Who might enjoy it? And are you looking for new members to join you there, Lee?
I'm not looking for new members. I really don't care. I thought it would be dead and finished by now. I thought after COVID it had collapsed and we would just go our separate ways. Yeah. But I enjoy it carrying on, and we do regular lunches. I think we've only missed maybe 5 Friday nights, because we do the Friday night online thing. Yeah. I think we've probably only missed 5 since it started in its new form after you packed it in. So that's always been quite good. And we do keep in touch with each other. We have our own WhatsApp chat group.
Yeah. Which isn't.
And it's just a bunch of really. Well, I was talking to one of the lads that kind of comes to events occasionally last week about it, and he said it's fantastic. And just to emphasise that, the van broke down last week or the week before. On the Man Cave WhatsApp chat, Dave came and picked me up, and then one of the other lads came in the morning and helped me jumpstart it.
Yeah,
so it's a good community of guys that go out of the way to excuse me, just look after and check on each other.
Yeah.
So it's become quite a good group of guys.
You might have seen them. You might have even been shocked watching them on a Friday night on YouTube. It is live streamed, but that seems to be the important thing. It's the community that you've created there, which is really wonderful. And if you thought, you know, men just were interested in talking nonsense and drinking beer and hanging out, you're absolutely right, because that is what they do.
Pretty much exactly what it is. Pretty much exactly what it is.
Any chance to do that, they do.
In all fairness, we did do a couple. We always do a couples night after Christmas, sort of a New Year's couples night, where the wives come out. And in April, we've got a family dinner planned.
Wonderful.
So the kids will be out, and then again in the summer, as you know, the summer barbecue is open to all the families. So it's not just getting drunk with guys on a Friday night. We do a little bit more than that.
Fair enough. Okay, so if you like the sound of that community, what do people have to do? Get in touch with you and go through a humiliating initiation ritual, that sort of thing?
Well, it's live streamed on a Friday night.
Yeah.
Don't know how easy it is to find it on YouTube. I'm sure I can send you the link on Friday. You can add it into the. I'll send you the link for it, and you can add it into the show on Friday morning.
If you can sit through it whilst you lot are on the screen, that's probably enough of an initiation in its own right, isn't it?
Yeah, and then you find out if you like us or not.
Yeah, that's there you go. You can try before you buy on a Friday night. Right, I think we've only got you for a few more minutes. We've got Jason joining us in a little while with an update from Quintessencia. What can we be doing in the garden, Lee? And those growers who we've been trying to encourage all this time to make their first steps into the garden, to grow a bit of their own food. It is very much something you can do over here in Portugal. It's part of the culture. What can they do at this time of year, mate?
Well, everybody this time of year should be turning the irrigation on just to check it, just to make sure it's all working properly. Because if you leave it till April or the end of March, so the weather changes, stock disappears off the shelves and you'll struggle to find bits you need.
Oh, okay.
So go and turn your irrigation system on, make sure everything's working, then turn it back off again. Just because you know what it's like when you need like little extra nipples or a new connector.
You never know. Absolutely.
I knew you were gonna say that, and I should have said it. But getting the right size sprinkler can always be difficult if you're leaving it till the last minute. So
yes,
check your irrigation system,
check your hose, check your nipples, and make sure everything's operating.
Okay. Weeding is quite bad at the moment, so weeding your lawns is a bit of a thing at the moment. Pruning back the wisteria and your bougainvillea. It's that time of year.
Yeah.
Jasmine should be in flower now. I know most of mine are. So they're past pruning them. And that's about it. Start looking out for your summer bedding. Start preparing for summer.
Yeah, we've done our front garden and cut back the oleander and a jasmine. Jasmine's really hard. You know, like jasmine, you kind of look at it the wrong way in England and it dies. Jasmine's really hardy over here, isn't it? It was just set, you know, it's really strong. It's a very strong plant here, and I'm looking forward to that. And Mrs. M encouraged me to cut back the oleander. That's the poisonous one, isn't it? Very drastically. That's going to be okay, is it? You can be quite rough and brutal on an oleander.
Yes, yeah, you should be rough and brutal on it. You can't kill the stuff. It grows at the size of motorways here.
Yeah.
So I always reduce it. I normally do mine, or my customers, I normally do sort of either pre-Christmas or just after Christmas.
Yes. Okay. Oh, we're good timing for us. I'm glad you're prudent.
The frost really doesn't seem to bother it.
Yes.
But yeah, I like to take it down to knee height everywhere.
All right, and just one other thing. This is a bit of a perennial, really. I've been trimming. My garden lawn is small enough to just use a trimmer to keep it down to a nice length, which I don't do often enough. But and we've also tipped out some compost onto the lawn, which I've kind of brushed in, which I imagine would be some sort of dressing. Only problem with that, as soon as I swept out this beautiful patch of compost, the cat used it as an outdoor litter tray. What techniques do you have for keeping the felines off your beautifully tended to lawn?
They seem to make a habit of going to the same spot.
Oh, okay.
So if you can deter them for a week, deter them for a week or two, they tend to find somewhere else to go.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of people suggest using like hot peppers and stuff like curry powder. which they don't like because they do sniff around first.
Yeah.
But I did a stone garden for a couple. Where the garden I lifted the AstroTurf up from, we've done a stone design through it.
Yeah.
And within that stone design, there's some sandy, really small sandy gravel. And we had the same problem with the cats there.
Okay.
And they have had great success with a electric deterrent from Amazon.
Seriously? Okay.
Oh, yeah, no, I've asked them to keep me informed with it. And it's only €15.
Okay.
And it covers 5 meters square. It covers 5 meters in front of like the fascia of the camera. It looks like a camera trap.
Yeah.
That sits in the corner of the garden, and when it detects movement, it sends out a high frequency noise. And
Okay.
no more cats. So
That's
Amazon
really
cat
great.
deterrent. Yeah.
Okay, and only €15. And can it be used for getting rid of guests at a barbecue as well at a certain time of the evening?
No, I don't think so.
They
I
probably
think you
wouldn't
just
do
have
it,
to
would
just
they?
remove the beer, don't you?
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Oh, I just thought I'd
You
ask.
just have to remove the beer.
I didn't expect to be asking you about cat poop this morning, but you don't recommend seasoning. You recommend the electronic device there. Very good. Anything else before you go, Lee?
No, that's it. I'm going to crack on midday.
You have a lovely day. Which part of town are you working in? Somewhere beautiful?
I'm just at the back at the moment, the back of Shamaneka, Caparica. That's where I pulled off the
Very
motorway.
nice. Okay, give my love
Off
to
the
that lovely
33.
part of the world. Okay, mate. All the best. Thanks for being here. Ciao.
Say hello to Jason for me. Bye
I
bye.
will. He's on now, and we will hope to get another video from Lee live on the screen now. Jason from Quintessencia. How are you doing, mate?
Bom dia. Tudo
Great to
bem?
see you. Great to see you. Is it raining there? You're indoors, I notice.
It's a bit grey.
Is it? Right,
It's very overcast, yeah.
Yes.
And so I've only just got my mortal carcass out of bed, I'm afraid. So you'll have to bear
Well,
with me
good
a
for
second.
you. No, good for you. But working hard at the moment, or is it just like too damp and wet to want to go outside?
There's always something to do, Carl.
That's
a very
true.
special kind of man to do nothing.
Yes, indeed. You can't stay in bed for very long, can you? This is a late start for you, isn't it? 8:42, I'm guessing.
Yeah, my partner took my daughter to school today, and so I was afforded the little lay-in. Today is mainly obviously I'm fixing things. I do very little gardening these days. I'm just the maintenance man for I don't know if it's self-sufficiency, but well, because it is cloudy and overcast. Obviously, the solar system will only run for a few days.
Right.
And so I've had this wonderfully, how do I say, reliable generator, which I know works, but because it goes to a solar system, it has to have elastic trickery and doodads and stuff on it.
Yeah.
And one of my leads has broken. And so I thought I'd get in contact with him, see how much a new lead is. It's only a lead. It's got 9 bits of wire and a little plug on the end.
Right.
€192.
Right.
And so I did the decent thing that any man would do. Spent 40 minutes researching and taking pictures with Google Lens. And I've managed to buy all the bits from Amazon for €30. And so
good man. You're an example to us all. Fantastic. Excellent.
My mission today is playing with tiny fiddly pieces of wire.
Yeah.
And hopefully standing back basking in the glory of a running engine later.
Isn't that a wonderful moment? And you'd be proud of me because I've done a few bits like that. I had we had a party last weekend. I hope you'll come to one of these. It was great fun because I know you like visiting San Martino de Portugal. So when you come and visit us again, hopefully it'll be on one of these party weekends. But I've got a portable PA, and the rechargeable battery in it died. You know, these things happen. And I was thinking, what do I do? So I looked it up online, and they were. I think rechargeable batteries, when you get them sent, they're going to be expensive, aren't they? Because they're so heavy. Any kind of battery. Yeah. And it was like, I think I saw €50, and I thought I'll go to my chap in Caldas who runs the electronics shop, and it's a wonderful emporium of blokey kind of bits and pieces in there, and €21 for a rechargeable battery. As soon as I put my old one on the counter, he got another one. €21. I came home, switched the leads over, serviced, gave the machine a wipe down because it had been attacked by damp and mold as well. That's the other thing. Your paper speaker cones, look after them if you've got a PA system, because the damp and the mold here will get into your speakers. And I changed it. Say again, mate.
Kevlar cones are quite nice.
Okay, recommended by Jaz, and knows a thing or two about PA systems, I suspect. Have Kevlar cones that the mold can't touch, or give them a good blast with some low bass notes. Probably kills the mold as well, doesn't it? Or a little bit of top end on that. But job was a good one. Plugged it in, and it was good as new. Isn't it great to get into that ethic of repairing things and sort of cheating the consumer system in that way?
I'm always up for repairing things if it means I can have a dance at the end. But there is a lot of satisfaction to be gained, but on one level I just quite like things to run for a little while. That would also be quite nice.
I was just thinking that.
I don't think that's too much to ask.
Car trouble last time, wasn't it? Linda was giving you a bit of grief, but you managed to get Linda sorted out, and now
that's ongoing.
Right.
It's just that just rolls from month to month, the car, but I mean, it keeps everything going, and so it does really get used, and so it's not like I nip it down to the shops on a nice flat road once a week or something. It's been bumped over my field and bashed into things and all sorts of caper, and so I can't moan too much about that.
Well, in case you're wondering what's happening here, we've got a rare peaceful moment for Jason Hall of Quintessential. We're getting an update, as we do every month, from what's going on over on the land there, and catching up with his market schedule as well. I've still got your sticker from one of your products on my wall. I do want to come and see you, and I'm recommending to people that they come over and see you. So what is going on at the Quinta at the moment? And if you could give us a little reminder of where you appear every week, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, well, at the moment, we've got to the point. I don't think it's spring yet here, but I think we're over the worst of the cold. And so last week I got out and pruned all of my grapevines. And so I've generated a big pile of clippings and stuff like that. And so if I get the generator done today, I'll be wood chipping that up. My lovely partner Oriel has been busy clearing last year's veg beds, redressing them with some of the compost that we made, and we're getting ready to get some spring seedlings in the next, I don't know, few weeks. I'm guessing couple of few weeks. So hopefully we should have something in the ground the next time we speak to you. Other than that, we're just piling straight on. Now that we've had to make a declaration for Eva, I'm going to have to update all of my till system and stuff, but it means that we'll be properly able to approach other restaurants, shops, because now everybody's going to get 6%, and so we're on a level playing field with the other grasitas, and looking forward to getting that running. I'm a bit scared about IVA. Yes. I always used to think VAT stood for various added taxes. I could never quite work out why I had to pay it. Yes. But and the threshold here is very low as well. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Well, I suppose in a way it does show a level of turnover that's admirable, but yes, it brings with it a new load of administrative tasks. And it's not the same as like in the UK. Like I think the UK, the level that you actually have to apply for VAT is around about 63,000 pounds or something. Yeah. Here it's 14. Yes, but however, it is 6% on food, as you're pointing out there, rather than the full 23, which you'll get on other things that you buy. Yeah, peanuts, oddly, 23%. Anything that's cooked. All right, okay, all right. So I could buy raw peanuts. Yes, and they'll be at 6%. But a fried peanut or a fried cashew nut or something like that, 23%. Okay, you really have looked into this, and you are discovering as you go, aren't you, the intricacies of the EVA system. Yeah, I mean, thankfully we've got a really great accountant. Big shout out to George. You need one of those here. You definitely need one of those. Yeah, I don't think I'd have been able to navigate all of that in some kind of reasonable way. And the other thing is, if you're going to be in business, the best thing I ever did was get an accountant, because he knew all the people that I needed to talk to.
Yes.
And really accelerated things. I've heard that you can do it yourself, and there's a portal, but tax is difficult enough for the normal man anyway, I think.
I think you're doing the right thing. Yeah, you're doing what you're best at, aren't you? Which is being on the land and fixing your vehicle and doing great things to make food grow, and let them get on with that stuff. Amazing. And it's amazing, incredible how your business has grown, and people can experience it at various market locations in your area in central Portugal. And I noticed as well, in the picture I've used for the show today, there are bananas on your stall. That they're not growing, are they, on your land? You're wholesale buying them, are you? And so that you've got a full complement of things to offer people on the market stall.
Yeah, well, because on the market, I mean, we do grow quite a bit of veg here. But still not enough to keep a shop open for 365 days of the year with the kind of variety that people like. And the other thing is, now we supply a few restaurants.
Brilliant.
They have things that they require, and so we can service that, and it puts some other nice stuff in the shop. It's we're on the markets. We're really known for being able to get hold of some hard to get things that you generally can't get in Portugal. Things, sound silly to us, but things like spring onions, celeriac, fennel, all sorts of little bits and bobs. And so that's kind of what we're becoming known for at the markets. We tend to have a couple of different client groups, and so people who want our veg and our products tend to come to our shop. And then a lot of the most of the Portuguese people who are our clients, they tend to go to one of the big markets that we do in Figueira dos Vinhos on a Saturday. And then on the smaller markets, it's a bit of a mix of people. And so we like to have something for everybody.
Yeah, fantastic. And I have sent, because we've got this ongoing horseradish conversation, haven't we, with Tom and Toddy?
They're coming to visit me.
Excellent. Oh, I'm so glad they're doing that. And it turns out with the difficulty in getting a hold of horseradish in Portugal, they might become your supplier because they've decided to grow it themselves, haven't they? So maybe they'll end up supplying you.
I mean, that'll be fantastic. Yeah, because I think they're coming over because they want to know a little bit more about the legalities of how they can set up and be able to be legal, and how you go about getting the licensing and stuff like that. Yeah, I can't wait to try it.
To make some of the they're bringing you some. You'll love it. I think Oriel will love it as well. Fantastic stuff. No, it puts hairs on your chest, mate.
Okay.
It's one of those sort of tonics. Right, a couple more things before you go. The banana trees, says Mel. I have banana trees, just started to grow quite a few trees around central and south. They will grow here, won't they? And I guess they take a little bit more looking after than they would in a tropical situation. Is it something you're going to do, or is it too difficult?
I'm probably not going to. If I grew bananas, I'd grow them for shade, because I know quite a few people who have banana plants, but I don't actually know of anybody who's really ever got a banana.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. All right. Fair enough.
I mean, the thing with tropical plants is it's not just so much the temperatures. It's also daylight hours. And so the more tropical the fruit is, the closer to the equator it grows. And so it's more likely that the daylight hours it needs are going to be closer to 12 hours light and 12 hours dark.
Yes. Okay.
Whereas where we're in the northern hemisphere, we obviously get extended winter darkness hours, and then we get extended summer light hours.
Okay.
And so unless the plant has been particularly bred in order to take those situations, the chances of it fruiting are going to be quite slim, I think.
Well, but you make a good point about shade, though. They do provide a shade, and also nice leaves for eating off as well.
Yeah, fantastic.
Okay, as people may have discovered who've toured around the world. My uncle in Eires has a few banana plants and trees, and we eat them. So it can be done, but it sounds like it's quite intensive, and you're not going to get a massive crop, it would appear.
No, I mean, the Azores and Madeira, they manage it, but I think maybe they've had them there for quite some time, and the plants are perfectly suited to that environment. But my friend across the road, I mean, it might just be that I can't grow them here because there's so many microclimates.
Yes, indeed, absolutely.
That that's the wonderful thing about Portugal is you can have a little pocket and you can do all sorts of wonderful things.
Yeah, absolutely. Talking of wonderful things, finally, how are your donkeys?
Donkeys are good.
Yeah,
got a little bit of a firmer date on when Bella might give birth.
Cool.
Which is sometime between the end of March and the beginning of June.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, we're on milk watch.
So, I see. That's obviously a little bit of a telltale sign when she starts to lactate, and hopefully with one of our monthly visits to you, you're going to get to see a baby donkey as well.
Yeah. She's going to be. I don't know how we're all going to deal with that, but we'll see.
Little donkey, right?
Especially the dog. I've got no idea how she's going to.
Oh, and how's the dog? I forgot about the dog.
Oh, I mean, the dog's an idiot, but she's a wonderful idiot. But
I've got one of those. Yeah.
She's just so big, and because she's still only young, she still hasn't quite worked out how her legs and everything work, and so
yeah, takes a while.
She's quite apt, but because she's so big, she'll turn around and just knock a table over. You know. So
yes. Yeah. Wow. All the fun. All the fun of life in Central Portugal, the way you live it there, Quintessencial. Go visit the shop, go see him at the market stall. Thanks, Jaz. Lovely to see you. And the best way to keep in touch, I think, for people is look up Quintessencial on Facebook, right? And then they'll get an idea of what's in stock and where to
Facebook
find.
Or internet.
All right, mate.
And then use any of the contact details to grab hold of us. They should be all there.
All
and
right.
like I say, going to be at the shops open Thursdays and Fridays. Figueira dos Vinhos market on a Saturday, with every third Saturday being the artisan fair, where the market welcomes all sorts of other small independent traders selling things from soap to curries to electric. Like one guy makes wooden artifacts using electricity and looks like all fractals through it.
Cool.
And then on Sundays, where am I on Sundays? Sundays I'm in Villa Facaya.
Very good. You just remembered. Well done. Okay, that's fantastic. Always lovely catching up with you, and the ever-changing picture when you're running your own small holding and growing your own food and supplying other people with food, as Jaz does Quintessencial. All the best. Love to the family, mate, and all the animals. Take care. Excellent. And bye for now.
Thank you. Ciao now.
All right,
ciao.
Mate. See you.
Bye.
Cheers, mate. There he goes. Lovely I'm looking forward to seeing the baby donkey at some point. Yes, Madeira and bananas. Yeah, Madeira plants bananas, the small breed. I like the little hands of Madeira and bananas, I have to say. They're very sweet. James, good to see you here this morning. James Campbell and James Holly. Earlier on, I saw you. Your Portuguese is always better than you think it is. That's the point I was making earlier on, James. I didn't think I'd be able to do a house tour in Portuguese, but somehow I did. What, you were selling a house or looking around a stately home? What were you doing there, James? And yeah, excellent to see you this morning. Thank you, everybody who's joined us today. We'll finish with some music from Ron Rogers. But before we do that, let's have a little bit of a slideshow from John and Pam's recent visit from Portugal over to Salamanca. I want to play this for you, and then we'll have a bit of music. Another great tune from Ron Rogers, our musician friend based in, well, one of our musician friends. We saw Michael and Cheryl Bliss at the party on Saturday, of course, who are incredible musicians, as is Ron Rogers, whose new tune on Bandcamp you'll hear in just a moment, after we've had a little trip to Salamanca this morning by way of a lovely conclusion to the show, stepping out of Portugal and into Spain, which we'll be doing on Michael Heron soon as well. But just check out the beauty of Salamanca here. A little trip to Salamanca there. Thank you so much for that, John. We'll stay with John. I nearly forgot to share this with you. You can see Marmite by my head on the screen there. Did you know Marmite is made in a factory in Burton-upon-Trent for you Marmite fans here, Staffordshire? And sorry if you don't like it. It's a bit of a Marmite thing, isn't it, Marmite? Includes quality control and taste testers to check batches carefully. Produces 6,000 tons of Marmite every year. 50 million jars. An aficionado once described Marmite as stale beer and cigarette butts with a whiff of mouldy cheese, what an old pub carpet might smell like after a particularly wild Saturday night. That's what we're aspiring to with our party nights. And just going back to that wonderful vignette from, what was it? Carnivorous Aurelius earlier on. Everything I love about life over here. I'm with you on that, Aviva. Of these 6,000 tons of Marmite produced in Britain, 5,100 tons are eaten domestically. Only 900 tons are exported. It's like Guinness. They keep the best and let the rest of the world have a little bit. Last Marmite trivia then. Produced in Burton since 1902. It is named after a French dish. What? Marmite. It was first distributed in earthenware pots. The jar's label is a depiction of the original. Ah, okay. The little sort of casserole pot there. There you go. I see. Marmite. Okay, fantastic. Thank you for your additional research on Marmite this morning. Do you like it? Do you not like it, John? You didn't let us know about that. Okay, let's go to some music that has been shared with us. Always lovely to play the music of rockin' Ron Rogers. Salamanca is my Spanish lover, I must confess. Ooh, Salamanca and Santander I love very much, says James. And you're buying, James. Good luck to you. Vegemite, of course. Stop it, Mel. We don't encourage that sort of talk here on the Good Morning Portugal show. Right, I'm going to go over to Ron's Bandcamp. Oh, maybe I won't do it that way. Maybe I'll just play the music and then I'll bring the weather up because I've only got the music. I haven't got a video. I haven't got a pop music video for Rockin' Ron Rogers. I've just got the tune. So let me play that in the background here and then I'll bring the weather up. So we'll finish with that today. Thank you so much for your company this morning. I'm going to offer a chicken pie and a galau now, and I'll see you again tomorrow morning. You take care. Have a great day, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Here's the music of Ron Rogers. The new tune is called Little Angel.
Hey, little angel, don't let our love fade. I still remember all those plans we made. Turn out the light and come over here. I just want to hold you and In Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know.
Hey, little angel, don't let our love fade. I still remember